Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. A little bit of disclaimer. Yes, I'm still in the war room. Why am I still in the war room? If you can't tell from my rather raspy voice, unfortunately, I have been suffering from the flu all week. But hopefully next week, I shall be recording back at Gentry HQ in the Watchtower, of course. Now, as we are home, I thought I might as well, just for old time's sake, use the old intro, the War Room intro. So yeah, let's roll the intro and get into today's video. What am I going to be talking about today? Well, I'm going to be talking about my Rolex Submariner. I can't believe it's been 5 years of ownership. I bought this in, let me just get my notes. When was it? 2013. So it was the year before I started the channel. So I started the channel in 2014. And this I bought to commemorate my 30th birthday, and it was a grail for me. I've done numerous videos about it. I even did a video discussing just the clasp and the bracelet. I'd done my 5 loves and 5 hates or dislikes, really. I've jeweled it against countless other watches. But what I wanted to discuss today was really how my perception of the watch has changed, how I feel towards it has changed, and it's rather surprising. And I think actually it reveals more about how watch collectors kind of how their tastes evolve, the journey that we are all on. A couple of you have been requesting non-stop for me to make this video. I can't believe 5 years. 5 years. Now, I've got to do a wristwatch check, and as the wife is away, she's wearing her Cartier tank, I decided to borrow her Rolex Datejust. This is a very, I forget the reference and I forget the year, but it's pretty much the quintessential two-tone honor jubilee. And because I've been trapped indoors, I haven't been able to go to the barbers, so I'm developing a bit of a Wall Street haircut. And soon enough, it's going to turn into a full Patrick Bateman with the American Psycho mullet. But I'm not quite doing the Bateman, just yet. But as my hair is the way it is, I thought, why not go all the way with the Jubilee, with a two-tone Datejust. Anyway, so let me just get my notes. Where's my parker? Where have I put my parker? Oh, here we are. Here we go. So those of you unfamiliar, a little bit of let's just recap if you're not familiar with the ceramic Submariner. So this is the reference 116610LN. My particular version was made in 2011. Pretty much this is the current incarnation. As we all know, the history dates all the way back till 1953. It is without a doubt, if not the most iconic, probably the second most iconic watch of all time. So inside I have the 3135, completely in-house manufactured, of course. You have the Parachrome anti-magnetic hairspring. It comes on the Oyster bracelet with the glide lock clasp, which is, and you know what, it's funny, a lot of people always say I put everything on a NATO, and I do. I love my NATO straps, but if you've ever noticed, I never take Subby off the bracelet, because in my opinion this Oyster bracelet and the combination with the glide lock system in the clasp is the ultimate bracelet. And I did a video all about it. I love the way it tapers, the brushed finish especially. So it has the ceramic bezel and also has, in my opinion, the best bezel action of all time. It was 120 click. Oh my god. Ooh, listen to that. Oh my god. Doesn't get any better than this. We got the new Chromolite loom, which is just stunning with those extra large markers compared to the previous generations. The slightly bigger, beefier case. This is the date version, so we do have the Cyclops, the triple lock crown. What more can I say? 300 meters water resistant. Just a smashing watch. So I want to get something absolutely fundamentally clear, and I think a lot of people will agree about this, what I'm about to say. And in fact, actually, there's a fantastic article I'll share with you guys. There'll be a link in the description. If we forget about aesthetics and taste, style, you know, I know a lot of people, oh, they don't like the bigger case, they don't like this, they don't like that. Forget about the looks. As a watch, as a tool, something to perform a task, the Submariner, this current Submariner, I believe, one of the ultimate dive watches, if not, it is as close to perfection. In terms of its functionality, in terms of everything, it's had 50, 60 years of evolution, of carefully nuanced design, everything about it to serve a purpose, and it does it 110%. In fact, there's this wonderful article I'll share with you guys. I'll leave a link in the description. It's called The Real World Diving Test. Diving with the Rolex Submariner, a Zin U1, a Seiko Turtle, and a Prospex Paddy. So 4 iconic divers. A little bit ashamed that the current Seamaster is not in there. That would have just been amazing. But anyway, this is a master diver, and he's taken these modern classics or modern dive watches and he's tested them thoroughly. He looks at the specifications, he takes them diving, he tests them in the water, in the field. He looks at the legibility, he looks at the different types of metal react to the water, how they wear, really in detail. I highly recommend having a read. It's written, let me give the credit, it's written by Dr. Won Ju Ming, and it dates from last year, 2017. And well, guess which choice was his favorite? It was, of course, the Submariner. So, you know, even testing it, I'm not saying that is the definitive, you know, you could have totally different results. It's all, at the end of the day, it is opinion. But the Submariner gets a lot of flack. Oh, everybody has a Submariner. Oh, you know, the Tudor Pelagos is a better watch. This watch is a better watch for the money, blah, 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 blah. Forget about the cost. Forget about, you know, the luxury, the stigma of luxury marketing. It does exactly what it's designed to do, and I really appreciate that. I think the modern Rolex Submariner is a masterpiece, a capolavoro of design, of heritage, functionality, almost the perfect diving watch. It really is. However, my perception has changed. Why do I not consider it my favorite Rolex anymore? Well, the Rolex Explorer certainly has something to do with it, and I think it's just a natural progression as watch collectors. As we continue on this journey, our tastes change, they mature. For example, the Navitimer. The Navitimer for me really killed off the Speedmasters, and when I dueled the Speedmaster and the Navitimer head to head, Speedmaster still won. It's still a better watch. But for me, I like what my heart likes. I buy watches for enjoyment, and I just enjoy the Explorer. I enjoy my GMT a little bit more. Do I think they're better watches? No, they're not. If I was in the zombie apocalypse scenario, I'd always take the Sub. I'd always take the Sub with the dive timing bezel. It's rock hard. I mean, look, most Rolexes are highly durable, very reliable. You know, they're COSC certified, amazing watches. I've worn this on adventures. It's taken a tumble with me, and it still hasn't missed a beat, pun not intended. It's still performing in COSC. I know Rolex extended the service, or the recommended service time to 10 years. It used to be 5 years, and this is due for a service, but it's still performing as it did when it was new out of the store, you know. So I can't say that for the Explorer. I can't say that for the GMT. I've only had them a few years, or the GMT a year, the Explorer 7-8 months now. This, I can unequivocally say, it has taken a beating, survived, and you know, it really is, the proof is in the experience. However, the enjoyment ratio, shall we say, I don't get as much fun out of it as I used to. Maybe it's a little bit too ubiquitous, maybe I've got used to it, maybe my tastes have changed. You guys know I have a massive love affair with the Squire dive watches, with my SKX. Now I have a new NTH that I'm really enjoying. And I hate to say this, it almost pains me to say, but truthfully, I enjoy those watches more than the Sub. You know, again, it goes back to value. Okay, yes, this is certainly going to maintain its value, and you got that Rolex instant tradability, all the rest of it. The other watches don't. In terms of its price, do I get 10, 20 times the enjoyment? No, I don't. I have to be honest. And it's difficult. It's almost like certain factors are conspiring against my dear old Subby. The fact that my heart, when it comes to my favorite Rolex, has changed. The Explorer, where is it? It's right there. And I thought maybe it's a crush, maybe it's a passing fad. 6 months in, I'm still in love. You know, I think it's true love. Do I still love the Submariner? Of course I do. Of course I do. Just not as much. You know, God. And if we are going to talk about value, when I was in Switzerland, I kept thinking, you know, I should have done this years ago. And I know I've had health problems. I haven't been able to travel, blah, blah, blah. My eye is on Germany and Japan next, as I've said in previous videos. And I look at this and I think, you know what? If I sold this, I could go to Japan, have the lost in translation experience. I want to stay in that hotel like Bill Murray. And actually, he was wearing a date just on a Jubilee, funnily enough. Explore Tokyo. I want to go to the Seiko factory and do all of that kind of stuff. I could do that, stay in the luxury hotel, and do Germany. Maybe I'd have to budget a little bit, stay with some friends, maybe use London as a jumping off point, and I'd still have money left over. Would those experiences, you know, and obviously I'd share it with you guys, would that adventure be more rewarding than just hanging on to a grail that perhaps has lost its shine a bit? Perhaps if I sold this, would I regret it so much? I mean, yes, I know I have memories attached to it, sentimental value that is priceless. Will it be like Samson cutting off his hair and everything will go to hell, you know? Is it blasphemous? I don't know. These are obsessions I think about. And it's strange because I see a pattern forming. This killed off my Seamasters. If you remember from past videos, I was a big Seamaster guy. I've owned endless amounts of Seamasters. When I went to the Sub, because previously I had the ceramic GMT Master 2, which I didn't really do anything for me, and then I traded that in for this when I turned 30. It killed off the Seamasters. I just, you know, the same way the Navitimer, my go-to chronograph is the Navitimer. When I had the Navitimer and my Speedmaster, the Speedmaster was sitting there. So what was the point of owning it? You know, I sold it, and I've bought tons of watches since that I've gained and had enjoyment with. And yes, I know I'm going to return to the Speedmaster. I always do. They're not that expensive. I can always buy a Speedmaster. I can always buy a Submariner. But can I always buy experiences and adventure? I'm relatively young. I don't know how many years I have left. Especially with my dicky lungs, you know, maybe I should. Do I need 3 Rolexes? And you know, my wife's starting her collection now as well. Well, actually, technically, I have 5 because I have one I inherited. Anyway, sometimes I do buy them to have them because I enjoy the ownership. And I enjoy that choice. You know, when I haven't worn the Navitimer for a little while, or I haven't worn Subby, dear old Subby, for a little while, and I pull it out, I go and get it from the bank safe, and I put it on, and I'm reacquainted with it. I almost enjoy it more because the collection's bigger. You go a longer period of time without wearing each watch, you know. Or sometimes I just go weeks and weeks. Where is it? I've put it away, but I've been wearing my Fortis a hell of a lot. And my NTH, the little Naki. Another watch that kind of, I know it's a totally different genre, but my Zin 104. I get the same kind of it has the feeling of a vintage sub. Strangely, I know it's an aviation watch, but for some reason, anyway, for me at least. And you'll notice that, you know, I've discussed its specifications in numerous videos to death. So it's not about that. It's more about the feeling. It's more about the enjoyment. It's more about the experience of wearing it, of ownership. So it's not a tangible. It's a difficult discussion to have. Is it time to move on? I think that is the ultimate question, really. Would I change anything about it? Well, I would love it to have drilled lug holes, but a little bit pointless because I love this bracelet so much. I would have really liked to see a loomed bezel. I think that's the only thing that's missing that would really complete it and take it to the next level. I can't think why they didn't do that, especially considering that Tudor Pelagos has a loomed bezel. The only other thing I would change is I'd make it 38mm. It does wear quite slender, but the beefier case makes it wear more like a 42 diameter watch, in my opinion. I am starting to really appreciate smaller watches. I think when I owned the Tudor Submariner, the little 36mm with the salmon pink dial, that was just, you know, I have a smaller wrist. The watch has got to fit your scale. I do kind of think I would have preferred now the no date, which is funny because I remember when I made my first videos, the enthusiasts always prefer the no date, or generally, you know. I have no issues about the Cyclops, but nowadays, I think post Black Bay and you know, especially with my my Squale, the Lion Shark, and the Nakin, and I'm starting to appreciate no dates more. It's not a huge thing for me. Without the date, you do get less of that. Oh, is that a Rolex thing? You know, people associate the Cyclops with Rolex. It's just that's how it is. And one thing I must add is that, you know, my opinion, my feeling towards the Rolex Submariner is not, well, and I hope this is the same for any of you out there. Never allow other people to change your mind or how you feel about a watch. It's always got to be what's in your heart, how you feel about it. I constantly hear people berating the Submariner, people saying, oh, everybody has a Submariner. And to a certain extent, of course, yeah, it's true. It's a very successful watch. And why is it successful? Because it's an excellent watch. It's a victim of its own success. The next thing they say is, well, you know, if you know nothing about watches, it's the first choice. And of course, there is an element of truth to that. But there are many enthusiasts, and I proudly consider myself one of them, that recognize it for what it is and appreciate it for the engineering, classic, the capo lavoro it is. And what is funny is that the detractors of the Submariner, more often than not, they've never actually owned one. And if they have, I doubt they'd be saying that, because it is a very lovable watch. I guarantee you, if, let's say I have a friend of mine doesn't like the Sub, I lent it to him for a week or a month, and I ask him, how do you feel about it now? They're going to be converted. But again, this goes back to the fundamentals of my channel and my approach to watches. I never talk badly about watches I've never handled. I don't talk badly about watches generally, unless it is a really terrible watch. But yeah, you can never truly appreciate, judge, a watch until you've experienced it. Yes, of course, it's really expensive. Do I think it's worth that money? Well, God, that is a rabbit hole I do not want to go into. But the only thing I don't like about the watch, and in terms of its perception, is how it's turned into a luxury, aspirational commodity, let's say. Actually, that's a good word to describe it, commodity. Yeah, they are as good as gold. They are as good as gold. At the beginning of this watch's history, it was a tool to serve a purpose, and now it's this bizarre, well, you know, that's the way of the Swiss watch industry. They had to diversify. They had to market themselves as luxury, aspirational objects of desire, you know, to survive the quartz crisis. It's funny. At the end of the day, at least you can say it still does everything it was supposed to do 10 times better than the 53 original. It is a cracking watch. I cannot deny. If you've ever owned one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the kind of benchmark. It's the water level. It's the mark in the sand that everything is compared to. In an ideal world, yes, I'd keep all my watches, you know. But then again, if I was spoilt like that, would I not appreciate them more? Will I appreciate the Submariner more when it's gone? You know, that's a really bizarre thought. That's where I'm at 5 years in with my darling little Subby. Let me know what you think I should do. Should I just wait and save up? Or should I just say to hell with it? Life is too short. Sell it. Buy something that's going to give you more enjoyment. Go to Japan. Go to Germany, you know. Have an adventure. Or should I wait and go with the Rolex Submariner and add to its sentimental value? God, it's a difficult one. And I know I repeat myself, but you guys requested an update, and this is where I'm at. So a bit of a ramble this video, and yeah, my throat is absolutely on fire now. I'm going to go lie down. Hopefully next week I will be better and we'll be back at Gentry HQ. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.